Hey sis, let's heal. Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new episode. I hope you guys are good. I hope you had a great week. Thank you for all the feedback on the previous episode, which was finding love after a toxic relationship. And if you are a brand new listener, welcome to the family. Welcome to the healing family. I don't really have a topic for today, honestly, but we'll figure out the name at the end. But I just had something in my heart that, I was actually just in my bed thinking, and let me actually just paint a picture for you guys. So it is 7:30 at night. I'm in my room. I have the lights off. I'm laying in my bed. I think I'm coming down with a bit of a flu, so I've just been trying to rest. A lot is going on. A lot is happening. By the time you hear this episode, I would have moved to a brand new country. To a new country. I would have moved, packed up my entire life and moved to a new country. I'm probably settling down at that point, and I think that's why I'm making this episode now, because I know that the next few weeks of my life are going to be crazy, and I'm not even sure if I'm going to have the capacity to record my episodes while still trying to adjust to also the time changes. It's going to be a bit tricky, so I just thought to myself, let me get this next episode out of the way, and I'm going to try and shoot and record as many episodes as I can so that I'm not falling behind on my posting. But anyway, yes, so I'm probably in a brand new country right now, and it's been such a journey for me. It's been so tough, and that's why I always say that this podcast has really been my saving grace. Like, I started it at a point in my life where I felt extremely lonely. Like, guys, I think we need to have conversations about how lonely it is when you're in your darkest moments, when nothing in life makes sense, when you don't know whether you're coming or you're going, when you don't know who to lean on, or maybe you know who to lean on, but you're just so tired of burdening people with your issues. That loneliness that creeps in, that is the ultimate reason for this podcast, because I was drowning so much just in my emotions and where I was. I literally just felt like I needed to come up for some air. I needed to talk, and it didn't matter what I was talking about, but I needed to talk. I needed an outlet, a safe space for me to just talk about all these things that we're struggling with, that we maybe think, people would judge us for going through them. I experienced a lot of that, where I really felt like there was so much judgment in the place that I was in my life. Like, even just to talk to my friends and tell them like how I'm feeling and what I'm going through, and not because I felt like they were judging me, it just felt that way because you want to speak out, you want to not like bottle things in, but you are so afraid of being judged that you think like it's just better to keep it in. And that was such a lonely time for me. Nothing made sense, guys. Like, everything in my life was just so weird. There was good and bad things happening all at the same time. I had this job that I wanted to take, but I had my kid that I genuinely did not want to leave, because honestly my child only has me and I'm the only parent that she actively has in her life right now, and I did not want to take that away from her. That's the biggest thing. But also moving to a new country is such a huge change, and already I was just struggling so much emotionally. And you know what, when you take these jobs overseas, they usually ask you if like you are mentally okay, if things like that. And that's because moving is not easy. When you get there, adjusting to a new environment, a new country, culture shock, there's so many things that can happen and trigger you. So I really had to sit down with myself and figure out a way for me to unpack some of the things that were bothering me, or some of the things that I felt were in my heart that I was maybe not speaking about. And so that's when this podcast started, because I truly wanted to create an outlet of safety for us, for myself. I felt like if I came out and just spoke out, I would also encourage other people to just, even if they don't speak out, but to know that there's so many of us that are going through something hectic in their lives. There's so many of us who are trapped in our trauma, trapped in our toxicity, in our toxic cycles, just trapped in our way of thinking, because we don't even know any better. We don't know how to cope better, I'll make an example. Like with me, when I was like at a point where I wasn't as emotionally like in tune, I was really out of control. I was so out of control that I didn't know who I was. I was literally maybe a different person every single week. I felt so many things and I didn't know how to deal with those things. So I basically turned to alcohol. I turned to boys. I turned to almost anything that will quiet down my emotions at the time, because my grief was so loud, my pain was so loud, my trauma was so loud, and I needed an outlet to quieten it down. And I found that in going out, in my friends, in drinking, in boys, in all kinds of unhealthy things. And it's only now, like a few years later, not even a few years later, 2 years later, that I can look back at that person and realize that person was hurting. That person needed saving. She couldn't save herself, but also at the same time, she didn't know like what kind of healing she needed or what kind of saving she needed. And I also just want to give that person grace, because I know for a fact it's not that I didn't try to heal. I did. I know that's actually all I've ever wanted in my life, was to just heal my wounds, even those that maybe I didn't have a few years ago, but like I've always just wanted to find tools to better cope with the things that were happening in my life, because for the longest time I was so self-destructive. I was so self-destructive. The past few years was even worse. Like, I used to put myself in the most dangerous situations. I used to just not care for like my life, not care for the quality of life that I was living, but only because I was in pain. I was in pain and I needed to help. I needed help with like stopping the pain. And going through all of that and not having like the correct support structure with you, or not having the right people around you, really just sets you off, and it takes you on a longer period of healing. It was only in my isolation that I got to do the real work when the friends were not there, when the boys were not there, and the alcohol and all these things that I was using to self-soothe myself, those things were not there. It was just me, And even with the current relationship that I was in, there were so many moments I always felt like I was using my relationship as a crutch, that I was always so scared that what if I'm not really healing? What if I'm still covering things up with this relationship? That was one of my biggest fears, and one of the things I spoke to my boyfriend about a lot of times, where I felt like, oh my gosh, am I really healing, or am I still like plastering with like stuff, But obviously I'm here now. I have this podcast, I'm talking, and like I said, I've been in like this isolated period for a while. I've had a lot of thinking. I've had to do a lot of self-introspection. I've had to dig deep into my heart and really account for some of the things that I did and some of the situations that I put myself in, and also the situations that I'm in right now, but also self-soothe without anything or anyone soothing me, I've always really been that person where I've always had people to soothe me. I've really always had people around me to soothe me or to help me cope with like certain situations. I don't know if it was healthy or unhealthy, or if those people were healthy or unhealthy for me, but I had something helping me. And for the first time now, like, it was just me, myself, and I had no one but myself, and it was such a lonely place to be in. I felt so alone and isolated, and as time went by, I never even wanted to reach out anymore. But I knew that I wanted to have conversations about these spaces or like these periods of my life that I go through, because I also believe when I'm on the other side, it's going to be so much more fulfilling. And I would love to see just like how the trajectory of everything happened, how I went from that to like just flourishing and thriving through a period of my life that I didn't even think I would survive. Because I'll tell you, I've been through so much, and the past 6 months have been so horrible. Like, prior to me taking this job, my life was just it was just a never-ending nightmare. I'll get into that maybe some other time, but like, I was really struggling with the biggest thing was always leaving my child to go and look for like job opportunities that never really worked out, that caused me more stress, more trauma, and like just constantly having to leave those jobs to come home and start my life over again at home. It was just a lot. Like, my nervous system just could not handle any more downhills. I couldn't take any more bad news. I couldn't just take more things that I had to heal from. I was so tired and beat, and I just could not do it anymore. And now things seem to be looking up, but there's also so many downs. But I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to have been able to stick it through. I always say, like, when I'm sitting by myself, I always say I'm so tired of being resilient. I'm so tired of like fighting. I'm so tired of being like, oh my gosh, you made it to this part, you survived something. I'm so tired of surviving. I really just want to live. And I know life is not perfect, and there'll never be a point where life is completely stress-free. Like, whether or not you are in a good space in your life, things happen. You burn yourself with tea, you slip and you fall, you run late, you get stuck in traffic. Life still goes on. irregardless of what space you are in your life. So I know that I am going to be okay at some point, but I just wish I didn't have to fight so hard. I wish it wasn't so hard. I wish I didn't have to fight so hard for the things that I want. I wish I didn't have to fight so hard for my child, My child is so innocent in this entire equation. I think about the life that she deserves, the life that I deserve, the life that I deserve to give to her. And it's like, she deserves so much more, and she deserves more than me quitting on myself or on her. But also at the same time, not quitting is taking every breath out of my lungs away from me. So it has been like the most hardest few months ever, and I'm just so grateful for my tribe and for the people that have stuck through me, for the people that have listened to me, that have just listened to me without judgment, without anything, just listening and trying to help me. And like, I have friends that I can like just call on now, and they won't ask me questions. They'll just give me what I need and help me and be there for me. And during this period when I was trying to decide and trying to figure out whether or not I'll be leaving the country, I'm telling you, this was such a crucial time in my life. This was such a crucial time for the people I even had in my life at the time. This was a time I really needed my community, and I needed my tribe, and I needed all the support that I could get. And my friends were so amazing. They were so amazing. They really held me, They really, really helped me. And I'm sure when I get on that plane, I'll know that, God placed the right people in my life. And those that have withered away, those that I've lost, as painful as those losses also were, they never really belonged in my life, or like there was really no space for them in my life, or they served whatever purpose they were meant to serve at the time in my life. But right now, at this crucial time, I have the most important people. I have the most helpful people. I have the people that I need. And I'm positive that these are the people that I'm probably going to have in my life forever. And I'm just so grateful. If any of you guys are listening, I would name all of you, because I definitely can't even, I have your names right on my tongue. But I know you guys love me, and I know you guys are listening because you love me so much. You have supported every single thing that I have done, right up from my business, like my Beautiful with Karabo business, to my podcast, to my YouTube. You have been rooting for me. To me leaving the country, you guys have seen me shed so much skin throughout the years, and you've loved me through it, and I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful for my tribe, and I really wish for everyone to also have the same thing. Guys, I want us to stop overextending ourselves to people. I want us to also just stop fighting so hard for relationships that don't belong to us. Relationships, friendships, just people that really should not be in our lives. We really just need to be okay with gracefully letting go and shedding skin. And it hurts, but it's okay. It's okay. You are safe. You are safe right where you are. You are okay right where you are with the people that are there. And I want us to show more love to those that are carrying us than crying over those that we have lost, or those that have chosen not to support us and not to love us and not to see us and accept us at our lowest. Because there are really those people, there are really those friends who thrived when you were depressed and suppressing it and just doing the worst kinds of behavior. those friends thrive or like love you at that period of your life, and then when you enter into a new season or a new phase of your life where you are healing and you are literally like trying to spread your wings, and it hurts and you need them in like on a more tangible level, and they are not there, or they don't have the capacity to offer you that kind of healing, because the only healing they knew was the toxic one or like the unhealthy one, but when you get to a point where you want to deal with things on a healthier road, on a healthier perspective, it gets lonely. You are going to lose people consistently, but the lovely thing and the most beautiful thing about it is that you are going to see the people that love you. They are going to shine so bright. You will be thanking God for it, like I thank God for the people that have stuck through in my life through it all. But yeah, so I hope we are all just healing, guys. I hope we're healing. I hope we don't take these isolation periods for granted. I hope we utilize them to really build yourself, to really understand the kind of resilience that you have, and to never look down on yourself and think that you cannot come back from anything, because you definitely can. One thing about me, even when I've written myself off, I always come back, and I just wish I believed it sooner. I wish it was embedded in my heart that you can always come back from anything. And anyone that wishes bad on you, or anyone that really did not have your best interest at heart, or was hoping that you fail, or was hoping that you just don't make anything out of yourself, anyone that sees you try that business prospect and wishes for it to fail, or sees you happy and thinks you're pretending or you are fake healing, or whatever it is that the outside world thinks of you, I really hope we can just ignore all that noise, because I know from experience it can get so loud. So many things have been said about me, so many stories have been put out about me, to a point where I genuinely at some point just felt like people were just waiting for my downfall. And I remember when I was at my lowest, I just thought to myself, oh my gosh, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the downfall that everyone has been looking for. And guys, like, that's such a difficult place to be in. That's such a sad place to be in, because you give up on yourself, you give up on your potential, you give up on your purpose and on who God called you out to be, and you are actually giving up on God himself, because how do you tap out? How do you tap out before God makes you tap out, So I hope and pray, and I want us to ignore the noise, feed your dreams, feed your potential, feed yourself and your mind with good and helpful and meaningful things and people, and just don't let the hurt win. I know I'm saying this to you guys, but I'm also saying it to myself, because I also actually need all of these words to just never ever give up on myself. And other people see the potential in you. You need to see it in yourself as well. And those that see it in you, keep them so close to you, because those are the people that are going to continue to water your garden consistently, and they're going to watch you flourish, and you are going to do the same thing. I value friendship so much now. I value the essence of friendship. I feel like even my definition of friendship changes with my growth and with my healing, because I understand it on a different level now. And I really want us to just get to a different point, especially because of the life that we're living now, like the social media life. There's so much noise. This podcast was like something that was so close to my heart. It has become my heart at this point, and I love it so much that I don't even stress myself about my views anymore. I don't stress myself about who's listening, like if I'm getting like 10 views a day or whatever. Like, it's not a thing, because I'm realizing that when I operate from my heart and when I operate from purpose and from like the things that really set my soul on fire, it doesn't matter how other people are perceiving it. It doesn't matter if it's like getting 1,000 likes a day or like 1,000 views or whatever the case may be. For me, as long as I'm able to do this and put it out there and start something that I'm so passionate about, that I love, that is saving me and healing me, that is priceless, and that is the ultimate goal. And even if it just changes one person, or it makes one person smile, or it makes one person just be like, I'm so glad I bumped into this podcast, then I am so happy. I am so happy. So if you've made it this far, then I have really amazing news. I'm currently in Japan. If you've made it this far, I'm in Japan, and my work schedule is looking a bit hectic. So I don't know if I'm able to put out another episode, but I'm definitely going to try and let you guys in on how I'm doing and how Japan is doing and how I'm settling down. I actually really want an outlet also where I can share my Japan experiences, but I really also just want to keep it to you guys, to like my people, and like to our healing group. So I don't know, I need to figure out a way where we can connect in like on a closer level, where I'm able to share with you guys everything that will be happening, my Japan content specifically. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. I'm gonna see you guys as soon as I can, I promise. Please continue to heal and love on the people close to you. Love on your friends. Love, and spread more love. I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening. I'll see you soon. And please continue to heal. Bye, guys.